Welcome back to the Radio Horror Shows. We're talking about the sister film to one of the most popular horror movies of like 2 years ago, I think. Talk to Me came out. The directors behind it reunited for Bring Her Back, and I got to see it as part of AMC's Scream Unseen, which they do twice a month with a PG-13 movie or a rated R movie, and sometimes it's a horror movie. But if it's a horror movie, they do tell you ahead of time. And the message boards were lighting up that it was definitely going to be Bring It Back. And sure enough, everyone was right. It was Bring Her Back. Not Bring It Back, Bring Her Back, excuse me. And I was horrified and disgusted by this movie. It was actually incredibly shocking. I was just talking to somebody about the film Dead Girl from a few years ago, and he posts that up as one of the most disturbing horror movies he has ever seen. And he thinks that Bring It Back has dethroned it in his brain because it's not a movie he could easily go back to. And yes, Dead Girl has a different kind of plot line and substance to it, but it's got some really gets in your teeth kind of stuff in it. And this film does in ways that, no pun intended, really gets into your teeth.
Haha, I get it. Yeah.
When
Very much so.
did
Oh, do
you
you want
see
me to
this?
do my what I think of it?
Yeah, when did you see this? You said you saw it a while ago?
I saw this May 6th. So I saw this almost a month ago.
Oh, okay, at a
And
film fest?
no, they had a screening in Chicago, and they also had the Q&A with the directors that
Oh,
talked
neat.
about what their motivation for the film was and where they got the idea. And this is a film that does stick to your bones. It stays with you, and I think it is a beautiful example of the synergy between horror and drama because they're very much dramatic experiences and topics about this film that are in this film regarding death, regarding abuse, regarding neglect, regarding just so many different things, but also the horror aspect of it that are all done so very well. Um, as Chris said, directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, who did Talk to Me, which, yes, I liked very much, considering I have the hand and a couple of things from the film. It's
Yeah.
about a step brother and sister who, after the loss of the brother's father, they have to be put into foster care. Now, the brother is 17, he'll be 18 in a couple of months, so he doesn't want to be um, separated from his stepsister, who also is visually impaired. The social worker that they have has put the stepsister sister with a foster mother who's very excited to foster her, not so much the brother. And the foster mother is played by Sally Hawkins. I'm going to say it, which I know this has become a very divisive film. I have said that it reminds me of that French New Wave horror where, if any of you guys know what I think about French New Wave, I always say that it's a film where even if you live, nobody wins. It's just so deep and dark. And I feel like Talk to Bring Her Back is very much in that realm. Sally Hawkins, I think, could be nominated for an Oscar for this. I think she is absolutely perfect. There's also this, I feel sorry for her. So it's this empathy and then also the evil that she plays because you understand why she's doing what she's doing, but at the same time, it's no excuse, is just I mean, it's almost impossible to do, and she does it like so realistically and in so fluidly that honestly, more people need to be talking about this performance. The practical effects of this film are some of the best I've seen all year, if not in the past five. Many people that I know that are in, that do practical effects, they also said that this is outstanding. I thought the direction was great. I thought the acting was great. Some of these people, these are like, this is like their first film. I thought they did an amazing job. I think the characters of Andy and Piper, who play the brother and sister, Sora Wong, I believe this is her very first film, and Billy Barrett, this is possibly his second.
Yes.
Absolutely, like, I mean, if I know, I think they had a couple weeks to like rehearse and stuff, but honestly, the chemistry between them, it really does feel like they are brother and sister. Like, again, very realistic. The foster brother played that is played by Oliver, who when um Andy and Piper come to live with their foster mother, Laura, they find out that she already has someone that she's taking care of called Oliver. That's played by Jonah Wren Phillips, and his father, Stephen Phillips, is also in the film. Again, killing it. Jonah Wren Phillips. This is the kid who's on all the posters. When you see this performance, I mean, blew me away. This is the one that really sticks with you. I know people who were crying when they were leaving the film. I myself was just like, wow, my jaw was on the floor. Again, it's just the manipulation and the reasoning behind the things, that it's like it's that evil, yet also it's the understanding that when you lose someone, do you ever really lose them? And what would you do to bring them back? And it's going to that extreme that is just crazy. But again, Sally Hawkins, amazing, direction, amazing, practical effects out of this world. The cinematography is gorgeous. Like, there's a symbol that Laura makes because of and when you see the film, you'll know that she makes to try and invoke something that is done throughout the movie, but also done very subtly. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, to me, I love Talk to Me. I thought Talk to Me was like my number two. It was my number one horror film of 2023 up until when Evil Lurks came out. Then it still went to number two, but it still was in my top 10 for the year. This one I think is even, could be possibly even be even better than Talk to Me. So for the sophomore effort of directors to have it be even more effective, I think really says a lot. And it really says, like, I'm wondering like what they're going to do, in the future. And they're definitely ones that have like made their mark and keep it up. When you guys, see Bring Her Back, talk to me. But yeah, I say Bring Her Back. Go see it. Again, it's probably my number one horror film of the year. Probably my number two film of my favorite films of the year right now. And I know it's divisive. There's some people that really don't like it, but I think it's absolutely outstanding. And I can't wait to see what the Philip brothers do for their next one.
They they at the screen that I went to, they had an introduction to the movie, and they talked about who the two primary actors are, the brother and sister, saying they went out of their way to find a blind girl, or at least a girl that has ocular vision problems, which this girl does. She's like 90% legally blind. I looked up, and the actor who plays Andy, they said was the youngest actor to win a daytime Emmy Award. So they got like an incredible caliber of that. Sally Hawkins in this movie, I've only ever seen her in, off the top of my head that I can remember, is like two other things: Shape of Water, and she had a kind of a minor part in one of the Godzilla movies. She was Ken Watanabe's assistant, I think in King of the Monsters. Otherwise, I off the top of my head, I cannot remember her entire filmography. But her turn in this is so different than the just kind of mousy character that she plays in The Shape of Water, which is, her, I think, a big like performance for her. And this is like she still has this kind of like very quiet doting mother, but just snap of a finger turned Jekyll and Hyde. It was just insane. Not expecting any of the things she does in this movie. I don't want to talk about what these things are because I think there
Yeah.
is so much of this film that you can easily spoil. This is obviously in the trailer some kind of supernatural possession of some kind, but could it actually not be? Yes and no. The body horror that happens in this movie is completely supernatural. But at the same time, if it wasn't for all the body horror in this film, there are things in this that could just be like the psychosis of a crazy woman who lost their kid.
Yep.
I don't think I would ever do this if I lost my son, but I could understand the emotional turmoil of like, wait, there's a way to bring him back? I don't know. I haven't had that happen yet, and I don't think I ever want to have that happen. But did I go out of my way to make sure that my son was getting better or protected when something did happen to him when he was very 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 little? Yeah. And it just shows the depths that some things will go through. There are things in this movie that I don't think I have ever wanted to see again since seeing like The Fly. And I rewatched The Fly because I love Jeff Goldblum in that movie. But there's things in that movie that this film made me much sicker watching. I haven't had that experience in quite some time, and this film really, really did it. I love the fact it's a cast of relatively unknowns. There's nobody in this movie other than Sally Hawkins that's had any kind of breakout role, so everyone's in by their performances only. Sometimes watching these horror movies when there's too many glamour faces in there, you're like, oh, I'm just watching them on screen. That's it. But the same thing with Talk to Me. I got that sense as well. Everything about this movie just felt dirty and gross, made me uncomfortable. There's an entire scene multiple times with pee that just, you know, thank God it didn't go any further than I was worried it was going to go. I was waiting for something else to happen. I don't even want to mention what it is off the top of my head. I mentioned it to who I went to see this movie with, and they agreed. They thought maybe it was going to go in a certain way that it didn't, especially with there was a lot of alcohol involved in one scene. It just wow, and then just you get hit by a car. You're like, what the heck is going on? Just when I see a film like this, I always think back to like because it was on for 15 seasons, what would Sam and Dean Winchester do in a situation like this?
That is a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, because it's quite one of those things where, like, okay, this can't be set in the Ghostbuster universe, but this could be set in the Conjuring universe, or this could be set in the Supernatural TV show universe, things like that. Because you always wonder, like, how could this have gotten better, especially in a movie that ends on such a sour ending. There was another film that came out many years ago we never reviewed, start called Oculus. That has a very sour ending too. And I also asked that question: How would how would the Conjuring couple fix this? How would Sam and Dean Winchester fix this? Because man, this movie depressed me, and I don't ever want to watch it again. Will I buy Bring It Back? Maybe if there's a director's commentary, because I do like listening to that when I'm not 100% on like, can I rewatch this by itself kind of film. I do that with those with like I did that with like The Lighthouse.
I will say this though, if you do, I will buy Bring Her Back because I just think it's an absolutely excellent film. I really do. I will say though that if you do buy it with the director's commentary that we had at our screening, honestly, like depleted us even more after
Oh,
because of hearing the influences and what happened with their life and family members that were somewhat direct influences on both Talk to Me and more so in Bring Her Back. And yeah, so that but I mean it's just a film about, broken trust and PTSD. There's just so many dramatic elements in it. And this is handled so brilliantly with the direction and the script and anything to also bring that like supernatural, macabre, aspect into it that isn't cheesy, but that when someone has lost someone, they'll go to any lengths to try and return that person to their existence because they just can't live without them or just what had happened to make them go away. And I just think, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people who are really, really angry at this film right now. And I'm not exactly sure why, because again, I'm hyping the hell out of this movie and I have been for a number of weeks. But yeah, I just think this is a way to do it. Like Philippines, you guys keep on making what you're making, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
It's a relatively small budget. This is the way to do it. Like focus on the acting, focus on the practical effects, and really just keep on killing it out there.
absolutely. 100%. Check out the rest of the videos here on the Rated Horror YouTube channel. We will be following these guys and get back to them. I'm definitely going to go digging into their prior films to this and Talk to Me. That's the cool Talk to Me hand. I saw somebody walking around in a con. They were just wearing head to toe black with little tiny eye slits just to barely be able to see, and they were the hand. They were the Talk to Me hand. That was it, because there's no way to do that as a costume, really.
That's really
So they just
funny.
kept coming up to people being like, "Talk to me," and I'm like, "No, get away from me." It was like, absolutely not. I ran into that person at PAX East. It was PAX East, the video game convention, which is perfect place to dress up as a horror fan. That was the best costume there, and somebody was Eric, the Phantom of the Opera, in one of those beautiful renditions of that costume ever. So I was just like, that was really cool. But yeah, the Talk to Me hand, I was like, don't get away, don't even come after me with that thing. I don't care. It's probably based on some real mumble jumble lore from some faraway country I can't even pronounce. So, um, check out the show on Sunday nights, the Radio Horror Show. Also, the rest of the videos we reviewed. And Katie, where can they find you?
They can find me at the Blonde in Front on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also find my reviews on Film Obsessive, and I'm a guest on several podcasts and broadcasts, which I put on all my social medias, including Neon Movie Bunker, Kicking the Seat, and Spoiler Room.
And if you're watching this, keep attuned of the Radio Horror and Vlada pages, as I'm about to launch a Kickstarter for a brand new comic book, the sequel to Vlada, a Dracula Tale, my gender swap version of Dracula, as we launch a brand new comic book this summer with Tim Vigil and Matt Slay. Thank you, everybody.